All right. Part two. We've got Kendra, who has just let Natalie stay in the house, and what is the very first thing that Natalie does? She isolates Kendra from the rest of the group. How does she do this? It was pretty slick. She's sitting there, she's talking to Kendra, and Kate's in the room. She walks in, she's doing her hair or some shit like that, and Natalie says to Kendra, how do you feel about, telling the other ladies that you would rather just spend time with me tonight and we can go out and have dinner? Kendra's response, whatever it is you want to do, I'm going to do. Basically, I want the VIP lifestyle. Sign me up, more or less. So Kate takes the bait, runs to the other bad girls, tells them exactly what happened, and you now have a divide in the house. Natalie and Kendra on one side, the other bad girls on another. Kendra and Natalie do go to their dinner at some really high-class restaurant where Natalie ends up blowing like $150 on dinner, and I'm not even going to go into that because shit, man, you could have just had pizza, but regardless, that's how some folks kick it. Now, the bad girls, they didn't go to the dinner. They were actually at a nightclub where I guess they're going to have a bad girls club night where the host is going to give them free liquor, party favors and shit. Everybody's happy, they're doing their thing, and I personally do not do the club thing myself, but they actually made it look pretty fun for a little bit. And, had I been in town that night, I probably would have shown up, but turned away once I got to the door and found out it was like $25 to get in. Man, come on, man. Shit's expensive. Hey, you want to party? I guess you got to pay. That's the way that shit goes. Regardless, the ladies are all out doing their thing. And I guess Annie has a little too much. She throws up in the car. And Flo tries to carry her into the house but can't do it. So Annie decides to crawl. I had no idea she was a crawler. Annie, darling, I've got knee pads and plenty of space. You can come over here and crawl around all you want. It's okay. It's all good with me. Now, awkward moment here. You've got Flo, Amber, and Kate doing a video log. And they're sitting there talking about how they don't need celebrities. They don't need to drop names. They don't need the network. And they don't need Kendra. And guess who's outside the door listening? Kendra. It was pretty fucked up, and I kind of felt bad for Kendra. Only because, again, Kendra thinks that she's playing both sides of the fence, but darling, you're really, really not. That's just the way that shit goes, and I'm sorry to hear about that. But it's the way it goes. Regardless, the very next day, the ladies are invited to a pool party. They're out there kicking it, doing their thing. Natalie's got this little bikini on, and she's giving dudes lap dances, and I can't help but think, does she really have a boyfriend? Regardless, this is the part that got me. The ladies, the other ones, not Natalie and Kendra, but the other bad girls, decide to go back up to their hotel room, and they're sitting around hating on the other two. And I can't help but think, again, ladies, you've got 5 bad girls, 2 California king-size beds. These beds look huge. And the only thing you can do is just hate on the folks downstairs? What about the kissing and the hugging and the rubbing and the touching? Regardless, all right, another story for another time, or another wish or daydream for another time, if you will. Regardless, Kendra gets a little taste of Hollywood, and it's not that great. I was sad to see it happen. She's sitting there right next to Marcus, and Natalie, doing her thing, is popping her ass and doing her thing. I didn't think it was Natalie at first, but then you take a look at the bikini. Yeah, that was Natalie. And Marcus, man, had his eyes all up in the crack of her ass, man. Which, come on, it's quite an ass. Shit, I was watching like, damn, But regardless, I was talking about this in the last episode that I discussed when I said, just because you're talking to someone does not mean that they're yours. And you almost begin to wonder, Natalie and Marcus, are they really friends, or have they fucked before? Because, nowadays everybody's friends. It's not like, they introduce you and say, oh yeah, this is my friend, she's great, man, I just ate her pussy 2 days ago. That kind of shit really doesn't happen. Regardless, the part of the episode that I hate, this is where it gets wild, this is where it gets crazy, this is where it gets hectic. Flo gets left at the hotel. The ladies all decide that they're going to leave, other than Natalie, Flo, and Kendra. Kendra and Flo are all sitting out there with Natalie and Marcus and all them. They're all doing their thing. And, you know, you can almost tell that, you know, Flo just really has a crush on Natalie and just really doesn't want to let go. And, you know, it's sad to see, but it actually cost her, you know, some other friends in a way, because they all decided to leave her. And they take off and didn't even send anybody to go get Flo or anything, which was kind of fucked up. And if you take a listen, you'll hear Amber in the car talking shit, saying, "Oh, we need to leave, we need to leave, we need to leave." And she is a trash talker, she is a shit talker, and that's probably going to come back and bite her on the ass one day. We'll see what happens with all that, though. Regardless, you guys left Flo up there with Natalie and Kendra. So guess who she had to ride back home with? Guess what they talked about the entire way home. And by the time Flo gets there, she's pissed. I'm not going to go into too many details about it because it was a scene, again, that I just really don't like to watch. What I will say is that, you know, Flo called out every female in the house. Literally. And you almost get the feeling, I got the feeling, that Natalie and Kendra probably thought that they were excluded. I'm sorry, I don't think that you guys were excluded. I could be wrong. Shit happens. There's this one particular scene where you see Portia actually, you know, again, this lady comes with it, man. She realizes she fucked up. She's talking to Flo, and she realizes Flo is going to yell, she's going to scream, she's going to throw shit, but she is still in her face saying, "I'm sorry." And that's some powerful shit right there, if you ask me. Regardless, there's this scene where you actually see Flo with this marker. And she's in the room that's got all the new Bad Girls Club portraits on the wall. She's marking on everybody's picture and saying shit. And here's the crazy part. Annie's picture is right above Portia's picture. Portia's in the room, and you actually see that Flo is paying extra attention to Annie's picture. She really does not fucking like Annie. They do not show you if she drew on Portia's picture or not. With the editing and the way they cut the scene, you see her go from Annie's picture to where she's throwing the marker down on the ground. And if you watch, you actually see Natalie, who is mysteriously fucking quiet this entire time. She kind of just glides over in her dress, picks up the marker, and goes to write some shit on her own picture or whatnot. I really would like to know if she actually drew on Portia's picture or not. Regardless of all that, I will say that Natalie is, I've said it a couple of times this talk here, she is pretty smart, because she actually did seduce Flo to what I would like to call the dark side of the Bad Girls Club. Just as powerful as the Jedi side, but man, I tell you, man, those folks are evil. And I will tell you this about Natalie, she knows when to shut the fuck up. She's sitting there and Flo is running shit down, she's pissed, she's blowing off steam, and Natalie gets the new recruit. Now, we will end this off by talking about Portia's conversation with her boyfriend. She has a conversation with her boyfriend. You see that this is a man who has a good head on his shoulders. He did not want his girlfriend to be there at the Bad Girls Clubhouse. And as a man, I totally understand that shit. I mean, if I had a woman that I really, really, really cared about, she said she wanted to go, I mean, you got to be supportive, but it's like, man, I really don't want you to fucking be there. I see what goes on in this house, and I can't believe you want to be a part of it, but free will, enjoy it, do your thing. I'm going to have many, many beers while you're gone. Regardless, man, oh, there was one more thing. You actually see that Kendra calls her mother, and she's talking to her mother on the phone, and her mother is you know, asking about the fight and what happened or whatnot. And, you know, Kendra's saying to her something along the lines of, you know, yeah, I got hit by this other lady who's here, and I decided to let her stay so she can learn. And her mother is like, so she can learn what? And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, so she can learn to hit you when the fucking cameras aren't looking and no one else is around. Regardless, that was a joke. Regardless, though, we're looking forward to the new episode of Bad Girls Club tonight, 10 p.m. Oxygen. You guys take her easy, and please don't forget, have one for me.